Hey guys, this is Anthony Munda helping you ace your fitness, and today we're going to be talking about fat loss plateaus. So for those of you who don't know, a fat loss plateau is basically when you're following your exercise and diet routine, and all of a sudden your weight stalls, or you don't see any more changes in your appearance. So basically why this happens is because of our body's trying to constantly maintain a state of homeostasis. And homeostasis is basically where all our internal processes, like our hormones and all that good stuff, is at baseline. So what happens when we lose weight is we'll start to make changes, and then our body catches up to them, and then we'll lose more weight and our body catches up to that too. So it's very stubborn. Now, a fat loss plateau I would consider to be, no changes in your weight after 2 weeks. So a lot of people are quick to jump the gun, maybe after a week or even after a couple of days. So I would wait to see, about 2 weeks, because there's a lot of variables that can happen within 2 weeks. You could be more active at your job, or you could have, maybe eaten more than you planned on. There's all sorts of things that can happen with this. Now, when it comes to fat loss plateaus, basically the simple way to fix it is you either have to move more or you have to eat less. Now, I'll break that down for you guys, but that's the basis of what happens. So with fat loss plateaus, I think there's two different camps. So number one would be it's more of a mental plateau for people. So maybe they're not tracking their calories, so they're not being honest with themselves. Maybe they're snacking late at night, or they're eating while they're cooking, or eating off someone else's plate, or testing the food while they're cooking. All that stuff adds up, and they wouldn't be counting it, and they're wondering, why am I not losing the weight? Well, it's because you're doing those little things that you consider little, but it's actually sabotaging your own process or your own progress. So that's more of like a mental thing, is being aware of like what you're doing and how your body's reacting to everything. And you have to be tracking your calories. I know it's a daunting process for a lot of people, but tracking calories gives you a very tangible way of manipulating your diet so that you can lose more weight. So say that you're eating 2,000 calories and your weight's stalled. Now you can just take away 100 calories, and you most likely see changes in your weight. But if you have no idea what you're eating, if you're not tracking, then it's going to be hard, because you're constantly guessing on how much you're eating, and how much you're eating throughout the week. So counting your calories is so important when breaking through a fat loss plateau, because like I said, it gives you that tangible way of doing it. Now, next, I would say, there's the camp of people who actually hit a fat loss plateau. Now, for this, so I would also like to explain. So let's say you're 200 pounds and you need 2,500 calories to lose weight. So when you lose weight, the amount of calories you need to lose weight also decreases. So if you're able to lose weight at 200 pounds eating 2,500 calories, once you're 185 pounds, you're not going to be able to continue the same diet and see the same amount of results, because when our body weight changes, our caloric maintenance, or the number of calories we need to maintain our weight, changes along with it. So the leaner you get, the less calories your body needs to do everyday functions. So you need to constantly be readjusting and reassessing how many calories you're eating. So, and that brings me into my first point when hitting a fat loss plateau, is to decrease the amount of calories you're eating. So this is why tracking calories comes in, so important, because what I'd like to see is just taking away maybe 100 calories that first week, and just seeing how your body responds to it, because it's not such a huge number, but it will make a difference. So you can either take that away from carbs or fats, whatever one. If you like carbs, take away from fats. If you like fats, take away from carbs. But I'd like to see 100 calorie decrease in your caloric intake throughout the week, and see how your body adjusts to that. So if you don't lose weight, take away another 100, and you will see changes in your weight. Now, a lot of people with decreasing your calories, will like to say that, if you don't give your body enough calories, you're going to starvation mode. Now, while starvation mode is a real thing, it only applies to about 1% of individuals. So to experience starvation mode, which basically is your body recognizes that you're literally starving, so it's going to hold on to the extra fat and extra weight you're carrying. You'd have to be in like single digit body fats, like 3, 4, 5%, like literally starving, not just hungry, or not just, feeling less energy because you're on a diet, but you have to literally be starving. So I wouldn't say that applies to 99.9% of the population. So that's not something you want to worry about. Now, next, I would like to see you increase your workload capacity. So that's increasing the amount of sets, reps, or exercises you're doing. Now, the reason this is effective is because when you increase the amount of exercises, sets, or reps you're doing, it's forcing your body to expend more calories. So that creates more of a caloric deficit. And this can be easily tracked again. So as long as you're tracking your workouts and everything, this would be a little bit easier. If you're not tracking your workouts, maybe just push a little bit harder in the gym, try to get a couple more reps, or do a couple more sets of exercises that you like doing. That's a very easy way to do it. Now, the next one, which I don't like, not that I don't like, but I feel like a lot of people abuse, is to increase your cardio. So I feel like a lot of people have this belief that cardio has this magical fat burning effect. The reason cardio is good is because it's a tool that allows you to, again, add to your caloric deficit. So let's put this in a very practical way. Say you're doing 3 days of cardio at 300 calories each session. So a good way to break through that fat loss plateau is just to add another session. So that would give you another 300 to 400, calories you're in a deficit at the end of that week. But like I said, a lot of people abuse that and, stay on the treadmill or whatever cardio equipment they like for hours. And the reason this gets dangerous is, number one, that's hard to recover from, especially if you're weight training. And number two, the more cardio you do, the more your appetite's going to increase to try to make up for that increase in energy expenditure. So you're going to find yourself a little more hungry than usual. You're going to feel less satisfied. So I would use that as a last resort, depending on your routine. Some people do like that, but I would really use that as a last resort. Now, another popular way to break through a fat loss plateau is to add in a refeed day. So for those of you who don't know what a refeed day is, it's basically you take a day out of the week where you add in calories back to your diet. So say if you're eating 2,000 calories, you might eat anywhere from 2,500 to 2,800 calories that day. Now, the reason a refeed day may be beneficial for you is because, like I mentioned earlier in the video, our body's constantly readjusting to, everything that we're doing. So when we're losing weight, that takes a toll on our hormones, especially leptin levels. So leptin has a huge role in fat loss. So when we lose weight, our leptin levels decrease. So that actually increases our appetite. So you're going to feel less satisfied and more hungry all the time, which is very common when you're dieting, like I mentioned in other videos. But what happens when you do a refeed video or a refeed day or a refeed meal is you're going to restore that leptin levels back to normal. So you're not going to feel as hungry, day to day or meal to meal. So because you're going to give that body that extra fuel that it needs. Now, another thing with refeed, you're going to ask maybe how often or how much extra calories should you add in? I would say that's tough. It really depends on the individual and how lean you are. But anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks would be good, depending on, how often you're hitting a fat loss plateau or how you're feeling or how you're looking. You really have to be the judge of that. And as far as how many extra calories you would eat, I would say that also depends. But I would like to see an easy way to do it is just add in an extra 100 grams of carbs. So that wouldn't be a huge number, or 100 to 150 to 200, somewhere in that range. It's not an excuse to go, crazy and just eat whatever you want. But the reason carbs are so popular to increase on the refeed day is it fills your body back up. It's going to fill you back up because those carbs are going to be converted to glycogen. So your muscles are going to be more full. You're gonna have more water, so you're gonna look, feel better, all that stuff. You're gonna have a better workout, and you're just gonna feel better mentally because it feels like you're taking a little break from dieting. So that could be beneficial just mentally. Now, the thing that scares people with refeeds is they might hop on the scale the next day and see they're up, 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds. And let me assure you that is completely normal, and it's not fat. It's simply just an increase in that glycogen, that water, and probably more sodium because you may eat, you may be able to add some more processed things. So please don't be scared of that little weight gain. That's exactly what it is. It's not fat gain at all. It'll be back to normal or even lower within 1 to 2 days. I've seen it myself plenty of times. Now, the last thing I like to recommend to break through a fat loss plateau is just to take a break from dieting overall, or maybe even training. Now, what this does is it really gives you that mental break that we all need sometimes, because you're going to get sick of dieting. I myself did. I constantly, not constantly, but I do. Once you take that break, you just kind of get to reassess and, think about your goals and just kind of get re-motivated. You guys know I don't like motivate, but you're going to come back ready to kill it because you got that little break. You maybe had a couple more meals that you wouldn't have usually had, but now you're ready to come back. You're ready to get on your exercise routine, crush your diet and all that. So it's going to give you that mental break that you need to just kind of get back on track and get back to, reaching towards your goals. So I hope that helped you guys. I hope you understand, what a fat loss plateau actually is, why it happens, and how to break through it, because it's a very common thing. Nobody has a linear fat loss journey. It's just not going to happen. It's a lot of people show it that way, but it's not true. If you're losing 30 pounds, it's going to be up, down, up, down. Like, it's going to be a constant struggle. You're not going to lose weight every single day. I mean, I think we all realize that, but when we do see that weight gain sometimes, or when you do see that weight stall sometimes, it can be frustrating. But please let me assure you it is normal and that you will be able to get through it as long as you either eat less, or you move more, or you take a little break, take a little mental break, re-motivate yourself, and just get back to it. Stay consistent. Just stay consistent. Find something you can sustain, and I promise you'll be fine. So again, like I said, I hope you guys have a better understanding of what a fat loss plateau is and how to break through it. Now, if there's any other topics you'd like me to cover, as I always say, please let me know. I'd be happy to do so. I'm loving doing these videos. I love helping you guys and hearing from you guys. That means so much to me. So please comment down below and let me know what you do when you hit a fat loss plateau, or if you've had one recently, please let me know and I'll even try to help. As always, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.